Afternoon, everyone. Today we'll be diving into the story of the Radium Girls, a pivotal chapter in history that blends workplace ethics, public health, and legal reform. My name is Paulina, and this presentation is part of the Global Environmental Health Video Data Project. Over the next several slides, we'll explore the profound impact these women had on labor rights and the lessons their experiences continue to teach us today. The purpose of this presentation is to examine the Radium Girls story through the lenses of history, health, and public policy. Our main objectives are to understand the working conditions and health impacts experienced by the Radium Girls, explore the legal battles that set important precedents for workplace safety, and analyze the data behind their story to connect it to the broader public health and labor law reforms. By the end of this presentation, I hope you'll see how this tragic yet significant case shaped workplace safety standards and continues to influence public health policies globally. Here's an overview of today's presentation. We'll explore the historical and geographical context, analyze key data trends, and discuss the Radium Girls' legacy and its impact on public health and workplace safety. Radium, discovered in 1898 by Mary and Pierre Curie, was celebrated for its glow and marketed as a miracle substance. Companies like the U.S. Radium Corporation used its luminous paints, hiring young women to paint dials during World War I. Workers used the lip pointing technique to refine their brushes, unknowingly ingesting toxic radium. Despite early signs of trouble, like Molly May's tragic death in 1922, the first radium death, the company dismissed health risks and falsified reports, blaming other causes like syphilis. The negligence paved the way for widespread health impacts. This map shows key locations in the Radium Girls story. The U.S. Radium Corporation in Orange, New Jersey, was where young women painted dials with radium-laced paint. Rosedale Cemetery is where some workers, like Molly Maggia, were buried, their graves later proving radioactive. Newark became the site of critical legal battles that gained national attention, and the American Cyanamide Superfund site highlights the long-term environmental contamination caused by radium. This graph illustrates the rise in radium-related deaths over time. Early fatalities, like Molly Maggia's death in 1922, were misdiagnosed by the sharp increase in deaths by the late 1920s, drove public outcry. These events fueled legal and public health reforms, shaping workplace safety standards. This bar graph highlights the growing toll of radium-related deaths over time. Molly Maggia's death in 1922 marked the first known case of radium poisoning, with 5 more deaths documented in 1924. By 1927, as lawsuits emerged, the death toll had reached 10, drawing public attention. By 1931, confirmed deaths rose to 23, underscoring the severe long-term impacts of radium exposure. These numbers revealed not only the delayed health consequences, but also the urgency behind the Radium Girls' fight for justice and workplace reform. Radium exposure led to severe health issues, including jaw necrosis, anemia, and bone fractures. This pie chart shows how many workers were affected, highlighting the scale of the tragedy. These impacts, often dismissed or misdiagnosed, underscore the dangers of neglecting workplace safety. The lawsuits filed by the Radium Girls exposed corporate negligence and led to landmark legal precedents. These cases were pivotal in establishing workplace safety regulations, influencing policies like OSHA decades later. The Radium Girls story shows the devastating costs of ignoring workplace safety. The data we reviewed highlights their impacts on public health and labor laws, reminding us of the importance of accountability in protecting future generations. Thank you.